Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So I've returned from my holidays to discover there's quite a haul waiting for me of all the products that I've actually purchased recently from Evercade or Hyper Megatech as well. Now obviously I have been put on the review sort of copies from Blaze for some of these things already, so I'd already purchased these before I realised that was going to happen. So I've got unopened the recent carts, I've got unopened Super Pockets as well, and I've also purchased the special edition of the Neo Geo Super Pocket and also got myself a nice case for that as well. And also in the box is an Evercade mug. So we're going to start with the thing I'm pretty sure most people are most excited to see, and that's the Evercade mug. This came part of Windjammers and Gremlins collection too from Funstock, so let's get this opened up and have a little look at it. And here we have a bubble wrapped mug where you can drink your tea out of. Obviously I'm kidding, you just take this out of the bubble wrap and we'll get ourselves a lovely Evercade mug. Whoopsie-doo. So here we have it. We've obviously seen some of the detail on this before and the sort of wallpapers that they were providing. I wonder if there's any secrets on here about some future games that we've still to receive. You never know, there could be. Non-Blaze there probably is, and they've not obviously told us about it yet, but you never know. It's quite a nice mug. It doesn't even say Evercade on it, I don't think. It's obviously just inspired by Evercade. Oh, it does say Evercade on it. How stupid am I? So it does say Evercade right in the centre. It's so obvious I completely missed it. Now, as mentioned, obviously I got these carts before I was added to the review list from Blaze, so I just left them on order. I'll probably keep them sealed, or I might give them away in a future video. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with them, but I would highly recommend both collections. Windjammers and Carnoff and Friends is probably surprisingly really good. There was some games on here that I thoroughly enjoyed, like Carnoff and the other game, which isn't even got a picture here, is Chelnoff, which I really enjoyed and played them through to completion. Also finished Roga Armour Force, which was pretty good. Windjammers, even though that is probably the main game, I'm not a huge fan. It was fun in multiplayer, but playing on your own, it is brutally tough. Gremlin Collection 2 I'm a huge fan of. Some great games here. Loaded was a lot of fun. And Hogs of War is great, ideally with multiplayer right enough. And the buggy sort of racing game is pretty decent, and Reloaded was okay. But for me, I'd probably buy it for Loaded and Hogs of War. A decent cart. Only 4 games right enough, but it's because it's PlayStation games. They do take up pretty much most of this collection, but certainly both of these are worth adding to your Evercade collections. Now also I have purchased myself the Super Pockets. I didn't expect to be added to the review sort of copies as well. Obviously it's great I do, but I had actually purchased these previously. As you can see, they are completely unopened here, both still sealed. I now have, I think, 4 unsealed Super Pockets. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I might just collect them. I guess, I'm not entirely sure, but obviously I've got the review copies which I've been playing through, especially the Neo Geo version. Absolutely fantastic Super Pocket. It's not perfect, it has a few issues as I've discovered, but still I think it's certainly one of the better Super Pockets. DJI Super Pocket, really good, but only if you don't have already the Evercade collections. If you're new to this sort of thing, then that might be quite attractive to purchase. It's a bit strange colour written off the orange and blue, but it looks probably better in actual real life than it does on these pictures here or in this video. I also purchased the Super Pocket sort of case, and it's a perfect size. It's sort of cushioned, and you can also fit in a couple of carts. I think maybe 4 carts. Ideally, you could probably squeeze a lot more in, as well as your Super Pocket. You can also maybe squeeze in the charge cable with it as well. Really decent. I think they still retail for about $9.99, I think. I can't really remember, but this came with the actual Super Pocket for a slightly cheaper price, so definitely recommended if you're picking up a Super Pocket. Okay, so this is most likely what you're all waiting for, is to see the Neo Geo Special Edition MVS Super Pocket. Now, word of warning, I'm not going to actually open this in this video. I'm going to do it completely separately, so this video doesn't go on too long. And this is obviously special limited edition. This is number 4, very different to the black version of the Neo Geo Super Pocket. Obviously it's more stand out in the complete red MVS sort of version. So it should pretty much play the same. It's slightly different variation on the box right enough. You've got all the sort of art of all the games and a list of all the games as well. I absolutely love this Super Pocket. I've been playing it solidly for the last few weeks. Certainly has some issues with slowdown and sort of things, so it's not quite perfect. It is quite hard. Some of the games are brutally tough, and we don't have easy mode on this as well, which is a little bit of a shame. But still, it's a nice handheld to pick up. I think I probably prefer the black and gold over this, to be honest. That's just my personal preference. You might prefer this. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'll open this in a separate video and we'll cover this in full, playing through all the games. And I'll give you a little bit more detail to my thoughts on the games, because obviously I have been playing them for the last few weeks. And I'll give you my thoughts in more in-depth. But now what we'll do is maybe have a discussion about, obviously, the future of Crazy Burger and what's going to happen going forward. Okay guys, as you can see, we're obviously back from our holiday, which was over 2.5 weeks. And in that time, obviously, I had these. Somehow I managed to get these to me on holiday. I'd missed the actual date that Blaze had sent these to me. But somehow we had relatives that were coming a couple of days later, so I managed to get them on their flight. And then obviously I could manage to review them in time for the channel. Now, I didn't know, obviously earlier this year, that Blaze were going to start adding me to the review sort of list, which is obviously great, but hopefully it doesn't make me sound biased towards Blaze. I'm going to try and make sure I'm always as honest as possible. If something's crap, I will say it's crap. If something's not right, I will say it's not right. Now, I don't always highlight every issue. Sometimes I will just send some information to Blaze Direct so they can solve the issue. But other times I'll probably mention it because it's maybe not going to be a quick fix in time for video purposes, so I will mention it. But I will try and be as honest as possible. I don't really care that Blaze are sending these to me free. I will still provide as honest an opinion as possible on the carts, Super Pockets, or whatever else they decide to sort of send. Obviously, I'm absolutely delighted that they are sending me these products. I'm not really sure it will save me money because I might still buy them anyway, is keep them unsealed. I'm not really decided what to do yet. They might decide not to start sending me stuff anyway, so I'm not entirely clear. But I'm not going to take it for granted. If they do send me stuff, happy days. If they don't, then absolutely fine. I don't really mind. But yeah, this little Super Pocket I've really loved. I've been sort of playing it solid for the last sort of few weeks, maybe the last 4 weeks. And dipping into it. It's probably about the only thing I've been playing, to be honest. I have played some of the Evercade collections as well. Finished Broken Sword 2 on the flight, which I was delighted about, and finished a few other games on Windjammer's collection, and got completely stuck on Loaded as well. But yeah, we obviously had a nice holiday. It was great to get away from the sort of reality of everyday life and your real job. And obviously making content, something you do get a little bit burnt out on all of those things. So it was good to get a break from the channel. I have missed sort of making the sort of video content on that, so I'm good to be back. But obviously a word of warning, a lot of the content maybe that I make, I'm not going to make too much holiday stuff, but there will be a few things here that's not really for regular viewers. Obviously some things that we've done on holiday, like hotel reviews, sort of car rental stuff, which I don't care. You don't need to watch it. It's not necessarily for the regular viewers looking for Evercade stuff or other type of sort of Super Pocket content. It's for different people. Other sort of viewers will pick that up further down the line. But I'm not going to do too much. There will be a few videos, like an overall holiday video, sort of hotel reviews, occasional stuff here and there. There's not an awful lot. I didn't film sort of endless stuff that I usually do, because I think Florida sort of Disney parks are covered by larger YouTubers than me. There's no way I would sort of crack that market at all. So I'm not even going to bother trying. So I'll just do my own thing. But mainly it's obviously going to be about Evercade and Super Pockets and other sort of retro stuff that I'm going to start looking at. So next video I'm actually going to be looking at is related to the Neo Geo MVS edition, which does look really nice. I'll try to go in as much detail as I possibly can. It won't go into loads of detail on every game, right enough. I will keep that for a separate video as well, because sometimes these videos can get too long and I don't want to sort of bore you too much, but I will try and go through each of the games on this Neo Geo and rank them how I see it. It is quite tricky to rank the games on these sort of Super Pockets. It's obviously a personal opinion at the end of the day. I have found some of the games to be extremely difficult. There's obviously not an easy mode on these Neo Geo Super Pockets. I don't think we have access to the dip switches yet. It might change further down the line. They might sort of get access, or they might work out how to actually do it. It's obviously slightly different to the other emulation they use for the arcade games. So obviously keep our fingers crossed they can actually add that. The D-pad is certainly better. There's no doubt about it. It is much better and it has been improved. Still not perfect. Obviously the screen is still small, but it's such a nice device. I would still recommend it, especially as a starting point if you're sort of thinking about getting into Evercade, and then you can dabble in other sort of hardware, or even get yourself some more cartridges. But anyway, guys, just really a quick update. I'll try and get started on the content. Also, I was back to my real job today as well. So I'm a bit tired, still a bit jet lagged. Only landed late yesterday afternoon. Our flight was delayed a few hours due to sort of thunder and lightning in Washington. Then we sort of had a second flight home as well. So it was certainly a tiring day coming home. Not sure we'll be going back to Florida anytime soon. I think we've completely burnt out doing the sort of Disney parks. The heat was excessive. I think on the second week the temperatures were going up to sort of 35 degrees, 94 in Fahrenheit. It was getting excessive. It wasn't really the heat, it was a problem that the sort of humidity was unbelievable. The first week was fine because it was more unsettled weather, and the temperatures were sort of in the low sort of 30s, even in the late 20s. But once the temperatures crept up, the humidity level just increased, and it was pretty unbearable. So when it gets to that, and trying to go through the parks, and the parks are extremely busy, you get tired and you don't have the energy. I think we completely burnt ourselves out by the second week. So again, I'm not entirely sure we'll go back to the parks anytime soon, and I'm glad we didn't do Universal Epic, because that was insane. I've seen a lot of bad sort of things about that, of how busy it was and people basically only going on one ride in a couple of hours. So I think we'll probably avoid the parks for the next few years. Obviously, never say never. I might, obviously quoting someone from Evercade Blaze, but I'm not sure we'll go back anytime soon. I think we need to do a different type of holiday, and probably maybe a more relaxing holiday as well, because it is completely exhausting. And you do a heck of a lot of walking. You probably do an awful lot of trash eating as well. But anyway, that's me. I'm back from holiday. Looking forward to doing some content. Look out for the next video. We're looking at Neo Geo MVS Special Edition, and we'll go through that in detail. And then we'll look at ranking the games as well. Thanks very much for watching again, and we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.